Welcome to Akhand Vidyashram, the first institute of impeccable wisdom. Let's discuss about DIVYANK rectangle, the ideal length and breadth of the DIVYANK rectangle or the golden rectangle. As the picture is very clear, I have put a dimension 100 into 161.8034. This is a precise number which I am going to talk about it, and each a 5 symbol, and this is a picture which I have already spoken about. Now we are going to show you what I have been showing in DIVYANK or Ganit Vidya. The mixed Fibonacci sequence is present in this, all the numbers you can see on top and the figure you can see. Second thing which we brought into the picture was the golden ratio, and the two numbers I have given. One says 1.618 based on the last Fibonacci sequence itself. Second thing is man-made concept of golden ratio as 1 added by square root of 5 divided by 2 is equivalent to 1.6180339887 etc etc. And my doubt is 1.618, which comes from Fibonacci sequence, is too simple to be perfect except for imagination. I agree, and it is found to be very useful in many of the gross areas, I have no doubt. But when come to the question of man-made concept of the golden ratio, the number we are talking about, infinite number of digits. By and large, I am not very happy with it because you can't apply in mathematics. It's impossible. It's okay to look at it for whatever it is. Even that I don't appreciate. And that was the question which was raised in the golden ratio. All these, both the ratios are divine designed, are man-made. First one say is divine, preserved, and there is a consistency only in 1.61. But further than that, there is a 0. But then 3398. Is that correct, or there could be something better? Keeping in that mind, let me share with you, whenever I am in doubt, I watch cosmos, the universe. Why do I see? I see a uniform, omnipotent, omniscient, omnipresent, perfect divine design of nature in the universe itself. And that has been my teacher from my childhood, from the very beginning, admiring the cosmos, all the stars, moon, sun, and all the things which I can see, including 7 days, 7 moving objects. They have been my fascination since my childhood, and maybe that's the reason I understand divine nature much better. I see a divine mathematics in flowers, trees, almost anything which is outside is so perfect. And same thing I see with myself also. I'm perfect to every core. Once you realize that and you do what is designed for plants and animals, how they work and how human beings are doing, we can learn quite a lot in the process. And that is what I've seen in the picture. Aham Brahmasmi, I am like God. And Tattvamasi, it is a meaning that I'm going to talk about it little later. Now, this is a picture which I make it very clear. Top, you can imagine it's me, and there are 10 chakras. Second thing, there's 10 heavenly bodies in the solar system, Surya Mandal also. Pendant is a human being, Surya Mandal is solar system, and Brahmand is a spiral galaxy. Incidentally or luckily, there are 10 suns which have been observed by everybody. When all the three are identical, that means there should be a defined mathematics which is clear. That is maybe Fibonacci is talking about. That is what golden ratio is talking about. But I have a problem. Both are not as precise, as defined as I want. Now, Fibonacci sequence have given the number, and in this particular thing, 89 divided by 55 is 1.618. Then 181818 continues, and that is seen between 10th and 11th only. Result is 1.618, which is accepted by everybody as the value of the golden ratio. Now, second universal example is the divine proportions of the golden ratio 5. This picture, keep it in mind, this is one picture which comes and shown by all the mathematician artists to talk what phi are the golden ratio or divine proportions as such. Now come to the question of golden ratio. As I told you, 1.618 is the one thing which has appeared, and you can see in this picture same thing, how it was calculated using the formula of a plus b, or there is square of a and another rectangle of b. When put together, you get a rectangle in this shape, and that is a rectangle which they call it golden rectangle. I call it Divyank rectangle because I am going to take it to divine mathematics, which is precise, perfect to the core. Now, another description, as I say, a plus b is divided by a, and or a divided by b is equivalent to this, or the long side by short side is equivalent to both sides plus long side. This description I have already explained. Is this just a reminder? Now, this is the mathematical man-made concept of the human mind. This particular thing, I do say, there never ending infinite number of decimal digits is defective, is a gross deficiency, misconception. It cannot be used by mathematicians, it cannot be used by scientists. We have to have a mathematics which physics, chemistry and medical sciences can use easily. Not much of a difference, but at the same time should be precise and concise. And so many digits cannot be applied in science or cannot be applied in life itself. We must find the most approximate decimal value of the golden ratio. That's the question. We must unfold the divine design. Unfortunately, what have been found by the people is these two numbers. Now I am going to rectify as I go because I want the divine mathematics. Now my intuitive view is the golden ratio equal to 1.6, or the second one, are these two varied values perfectly accurate? Perfect objects are designed with perfection is best of my knowledge. That is what Brahman Pindant is saying. There must be uniform divine course because that is what I have been seeing since my childhood. And I do know nature by itself is very intelligent, perfect in mathematics. Maybe Yantra Vidya, Mantra Vidya, Tantra Vidya is very common with Sanatana Dharma. But I have added the fourth of Ganit Vidya. Without Ganit Vidya, even Tantra, Mantra, Yantra cannot be understood fully. And I am trying to prove that the final conclusion has to be in divine mathematics and nothing other than that. The human brain is the most evolved and perfect, and every human being can do it because we have a connection with Akash Kosh, which has the records of even things which have happened before. And that may be the reason why I am able to produce 8 Hz frequency throughout the brain with eyes open, senses open, anywhere and everywhere, which is the first time in history of mankind I have done for my PhD work and thereafter. As a result, I have found DIVYANK and given to the world in 2015. Now let's explore and find the divine design. Now, what is DIVYANK ratio? It is much better than golden ratio. And what is DIVYANK rectangle? Is better than golden rectangle. An honest, truthful exploration with the known mathematical designs, other things which I have given. These are the questions and raise how ancient Indian mathematics knew it very well. Now I am going to show you how I have found the DIVYANK rectangle with a perfect value of length and breadth of the golden rectangle or golden ratio. This is ratio mean 100 into 100 is taken as the first square, as you have seen in the very picture. Is the first step. It's a square of 100 into 100. Let's stick to that. The second step I take, I divide that 100 and 100 into two parts. So one is 50 into 100, another is 50 into 100, and these two are two rectangles as such you can see. And that was the thing which you are going to see further in triangle. But this is only square divided into two parts. Now third step I have done, the square I have converted into two, which was done. Now a line between lower end of the middle and the upper end of the right side is put together as a hypotenuse. Draw a line joining this triangle, which you can see very clearly, and this is called hypotenuse. Now here there comes a question. I am going to use in Indian mathematics of a common man like me. I am not a mathematician by training. I'm a medical doctor. But I think I understand nature's divine mathematics automatically because everything is within us. So next stage is going to be divine mathematics as you see as we move on. Now, let's calculate the hypotenuse calculation as such. Now you have a 50 into 50 is one side, square of that is 2500. Now 100 into 100 is equal to 10,000, and it is already set by this particular concept. 50 into 50 plus 100 into 100 when added together will be the square root of the third one, which we are going to talk about. Now you see 2500, 1000, 12,500, and square of 12,500 is 111.8034 is a simple calculation on a calculator, and I am trying to be only very clear. There is no doubt on this that it should have been 111.8034, nothing more than that. It is as simple as that. Now, as you create a rectangle from the point, as you can see, the same under 11 is extended to other thing, and you add it and you get a picture of 50 plus 111 is 161, another is 100, and that is interesting thing to go and find the dimension, length and breadth of a DIVYANK rectangle is 100 into 161.8034, and that's it. And I think I've shown it very clearly in this particular picture. It should not be difficult for anybody to draw and do. This could have been done by anybody, and we are going to see the transformation in the whole picture and the next picture. Now you see I have this final step of 6, 100 into 161, which I started in the very beginning. Now the complete triangle is done, and I have a feeling this could have been calculated by other artists or mathematicians before. I don't understand why this attempt was never done by anyone in the world. And I'm not talking of anything, I'm only trying to why not have a perfect science. 1.61 is too simple, but science should be simple, not oversimplified, but not complicated either. But I think this number nobody can deny is the perfect, and we are going to see it further as we fold how nature has designed it, not man-made design. I am very clear. And this is a time for revival of the ancient Indian mathematics. Let's understand how this particular concept is Pythagorean or somebody else. Now I am putting the same picture into this particular thing is a graphic presentation. First step, second step, third step, fourth step, and fifth step. As such, this is the calculation as a reminder itself, which I can use it later for this particular purpose. Now, an honest question which I raise: are the mathematicians copying Western mathematician Pythagoras alone? And everywhere we appreciate only Pythagoras. And triangle, this shape, that shape, when it comes to divine mathematics, everything, all the things are given to him alone, as if the whole divine mathematics starts with only Pythagoras and no one before him ever knew ABC of mathematics. This is the irony of the fate. I do agree that West has started initiation in English language of other things from many of the things, but it is not as perfect as that, and that is what I am here to reveal to you. Now, the ancient Indian concept in mathematics was contributed by Bodhyana in mathematics. He is the first person who was divine in mathematics. Lovely, no doubt. And this is a picture taken from one of the things in India, Vedic mathematicians, and see the 4 points which I am raising. He has done research on circle, square, rectangle and triangle, agree. Discovered in to pi to some degree of generation or precision. But here I would like to make it. When he talks of pi, he talks of 3, not more than that. He is the earliest founder of Pythagoras theorem, is well accepted, agree. He judged the square root of 2 to 5 decimal places of accuracy as such is accepted. I am not going to go into that detail. That is not the objective of this particular video. But this is where the picture of Pythagorean theorem, a square plus b square is equivalent to c square. I think that's a Pythagorean, and the picture down is the one he had written is Baudhayana Sutra, one of the beginning much before Pythagorean came to exist. And I won't be surprised if the Pythagoreans had learnt it from Arabs learnt it from Zoroastrians, and Zoroastrian learnt from Indian Brahmins. But that's how the whole mathematics has gone. Ancient Indian Brahmins gave the mathematics, they taught it to Parsis or Zoroastrians, they taught to Arabs, they converted it to concept, and then they gave to West. West made man-made concept, and I am very clear on that. Unfortunately, we are living by the Western man-made concept. We are not going by the original divine design which Brahmins gave it to Zoroastrians. Is also the point very clear. But the second person, he is the one we talked about pi. He in Sula Sutra, he has given the value as a 3, trinity only. A parameter of a pit is 3 times its diameter. That was his thought, and I think given the time that we did not have much surface, giving it equal by that it's 3 times is a very good idea itself over the pit itself or the circle itself. But comes the Maharishi Yajnavalkya and pi comes later. I believe Maharishi Yajnavalkya can be called technically a mathematical student of Baudhayana itself. They are just not much apart. They existed at the same time, but Baudhayana is senior as a teacher and he is a student. But he did not consider him to be his guru, but student giving it, but trying to rectify his works slowly. But Yajnavalkya has written in Sthapna Brahmana as a 339 divided by 108 is equivalent to 3.13888. So he has gone beyond 3 to this particular number. Why did he not divide 331 in? I am not going to talk about it because he was a follower of sun, earth and moon, and that is a combination of 108 I have already explained. Now comes the Aryabhata, which is after Pythagoras. His value of pi was 3.1416, and imaging is very close to what I have spoken about. The pi value should be 3.142857 only, not infinite number of digits. And that is what, this is what Aryabhata was also very clear. He is a great mathematician. It is said that he invented zero, and I say he did not invent zero, as the West knows. But zero was discovered in Rigveda itself as a Shunya itself. I have already explained that. Now the question comes up is, this is a pi structure which West has given it, or mathematicians have given it, accepted. But this is the first divine design in nature, but I do know the perfect 22 by 7 is 3.142857 only, nothing less, nothing more. That's it. Now come to the question of the coming to the last. At this particular stage I am coming. Now in this particular thing, what I have tried to bring to the fore is the Ganit Vidya, divine mathematics. 566 is a beautiful number which is observed in nature. I have already given in that particular video, and the golden ratio I have given it, but the two numbers are confusing. As a result, I have gone further to eliminate the defects and given the number as 100 into 161.8034. that is the rectangle. Let's stick to that. Next we will go further to see how the nature actually designed it. This is a number we have seen the gross, but perfect. But next we see not man-made concept, we need to see divine design which is perfect from every core. I think that would be the next thing. Anyway, thank you very much.